Hi, students. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Today was really especially cold, so I understand that at least Garland schools were closed, and probably Richardson, probably Dallas. So we have some very cold days ahead of us. So I hope you are staying warm. I've got a warm cup of tea, and yeah, we made a warm fire here at our house. I don't know what you did. Hopefully something fun with your kids, and who knows, maybe we'll get some snow in the next few days. Today I'm going to do a lesson so that we will have something good to talk about next week on Monday and Tuesday. In the background, or here to the side of me, I have found a picture. It's by an artist named Kadir Nelson. So I've only just now discovered this artist. He is an African-American man who started doing art when he was about 3 years old. You can see he is very talented. And this is a month where we honor and learn more about the Black Americans. And so I wanted to talk about that, but this picture is actually titled Sew Together. And I really, really like that, and I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. You can see in this picture that it is all different kinds of people. So it's a variety, which is really the strength in America, in my opinion, is that we come from so many different cultures, so many different backgrounds, if you really want to find the strength in America. So I just want to say that all of you bring a lot of that strength to America too, because you come from different cultures and you bring that richness of your culture to America with you. So this picture shows people from all different backgrounds, different colors, different stories, and I think that is part of what makes America great. So as we look and we study about Black history and about Black Americans, I don't want you to forget that no one type of American is greater than the other. But this will be a month where we're going to learn more about and give honor and respect to our Americans whose heritage is African. All right. So, all right, with all that said, let's go on to our lesson for today. All right, so first, just to warm up a little bit, you probably have heard this said, Black Lives Matter, okay? So first, let's talk about what does it mean for something to matter? Maybe you already know that. Maybe it's something you're not sure about. But if I say, wow, you really matter to me, this means you're important. You are special. All right. So this is what it means to matter. Okay. And then other people might come back and say, all lives matter. Well, that's also true, that all lives do matter. There is a movement, which means many, many people involved in trying to promote Black lives. Okay, and the reason that they say Black Lives Matter is not to say that other lives do not matter. It is to say, look, let's promote, or not promote is not the right word, but let's give honor and respect and learn more about those that have an African background. That is their roots, okay, and that have a history there that we have in the past not paid attention to or not honored. So you can tell me when we talk together what you've heard about this. Perhaps this summer you've heard some about this in the news. And so let's just talk honestly about what you've heard about that. Here's another question, and we'll talk about this word when we meet together, about both of these words. Have you ever been a victim of racism? Okay, so if you are not sure what that means, let's talk about that together when we meet on Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. And then the last question is, do in your country, in your hometown, do the police or the military, do they treat all people equally? Or do they give more preference or more respect or honor to some people more than to others? So we can have some discussion about some of these ideas. This story is going to give you a little bit of history about this organization or these ideas. You don't have to agree with any of this. I just want to give you some of the background, some of the story. I'm not saying that I agree with all this. I just want you to know some of the background with this. So let's look at some of the vocabulary that you're going to need. There's quite a bit of new vocabulary for this lesson. It's not poetry, though. We've gotten over the poetry for right now. Although at the end of today's lesson, I'm going to have you listen to a book that's written by a Black author, Kwame Alexander. You might have seen that on my Facebook page. If you follow Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, it's really a great book. And later on, we're going to be looking at some of the well-known Black Americans in history that are in Kwame Alexander's book. And I just think you'd enjoy hearing it. It actually was a poem, and he made it into a book. All right, so for the vocabulary. These are really some good words that I think you can use in the future. Some you might know and some might be new. All right, so first I'm just going to read all of them. And if you're at home, it's good for you to repeat those words. You can pause the video, say those again. That way, when we're reading together in class, you'll feel more comfortable saying those words. Brutality, brutality. So when we say it, when English speakers say this, we kind of blend it together. Brutality, brutality. So this last T sounds like a D. Brutality. Acquit, acquit. Acquit is a verb. This word's long, right? Okay. Discrimination, discrimination, discrimination. The next word is outrage, outrage. The next word is fatally, fatally. Again, that T sounds more like a D, right? Fatally. Advocate, you can be an advocate, then that is a noun or a person, or it can be a verb if you advocate for someone. And then the last word is white supremacy. You can see that the word in the front there is supreme. Supreme means best, okay? So white supremacy Okay, let's look at the definitions and we'll match them up so that you can understand the definitions. Of course, we'll talk about it more when we meet together for class. Okay, so one of these words means harsh or really hard physical violence. Okay, harsh physical violence is brutality. You could say it is brutal. Brutality is harsh physical violence. Sometimes you have seen this with the police have acted with harsh physical violence. Not always, I'm not saying that, but we have sometimes seen that on the news. Sometimes they have had a reason. Sometimes people have said that they have not. Brutality. All right, this next one, the definition says that it is the belief that white people are superior to other races. So which one do you think that that would be? Okay, you can probably guess on this one, right? The one that says that the belief or the idea, not saying this is correct at all. The belief, remember, beliefs can be good or bad. This is the belief that white people are better, that they are superior to other races. So that is called white supremacy. The next definition means to support a specific issue or to support. Support means like to give strength to help with a specific issue or idea, to support it. Okay? If you support it, then you advocate for it. Advocate. So to advocate is to give your support or to give your help with that specific idea. This next definition says the unfair. So it is not fair. It is not right. The unfair treatment or actions toward a person or a group because that person is different or because those people are different. So because they are different, they are not treated fairly. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to think about that. That is discrimination. Discrimination means people are not treated the same. They are treated differently. And it is not fair. It is not right. So remember the warm-up question asked, have you ever been a victim of racism? Basically, that is asking you, have you ever experienced discrimination? Have you ever been treated in an unfair way because you were different? Okay, this definition is in a way that causes death. Okay, something in a way that causes someone to die, causes death. That word is fatally. If something is fatal, the first 5 letters there, fatal, if we say that's a fatal injury or a fatal illness, that means it will cause death or it can cause someone to die. Fatally. Okay, number 6, this definition says to find someone not guilty of a crime. So this is when someone goes to court and they have a trial, and in the end, they decide, okay, the judge and maybe the jury say not guilty. If that happens, we say that the person is acquitted. Acquitted means the trial happened and they say not guilty of the crime. And this last one is extreme, which means very much. Extreme anger. Extreme anger, outrage. So just the word rage means anger, like it's actually an extreme word, okay? Rage. Outrage is the rage coming out, okay? Outrage. This is extreme anger, outrage. All right, so we've got some more. Some of you might be saying, this is a hard lesson. Well, this is some hard vocabulary. I don't think you'll find the ideas so difficult, but there is a lot of new vocabulary. So I wanted to give you the lesson tonight, okay, so that you have the weekend to look at the lesson and to look at the new vocabulary. And then we'll have time, also lots of time in the lesson to talk about it. Here's 7 more words, okay? Endure. Here's 2 words that they use together. Systemic racism. So this comes from the word like a system, okay? And then racism. Systemic racism. I know you've heard this one before. Some of these you know. Chapter. Circulate. Well, it sounds like the word circle almost, right? Circulate. Defunding. Remember, D means not, right? Defunding. If you do things on Instagram, maybe you probably know hashtag. And you know this word, kneel. Kneel. So let's look at the definitions and see if you can match those up. If you need to take a photo of these so that you can use your phone when you are out somewhere to study these, it's a good idea. Okay, so this says it's a key word for categorizing topics online. Okay, so this means it's like a word and it will help you to group things. All right, so actually this is hashtag. You've probably seen it. If you've seen it on Instagram, they have this little symbol first and then the word, right? So if you are wanting to search for something on Instagram, you can, in the top bar, you can put hashtag, and then you could put the name of your country, or you could put hashtag, hashtag Amanda Gorman, because we just studied about her last week. And it will give you all the information, all the pictures, and everyone's posts in that group. Anything people have said about her. Actually, because of the cold weather, you could have said hashtag ice or hashtag cold weather. All right, this definition says a branch of an organization. Now, when they say a branch, think about a branch of a tree, right? So a tree goes up and then the pieces come out, right? So branch just means a part, like a part of an organization, part of a company, any kind of organization. It is a part of that organization. So a part of the organization is sometimes called a chapter, just like a chapter is a part of a book, right? A chapter can be a part of an organization too. All right, I want you to think about this. This means to move around, to move around. Can you think of which one that might be? Okay, actually that is this word, circulate. So, for example, the blood in your body should circulate, kind of like in a circle, really, okay? From your heart, should go to all the places and come back. So the blood moves around and circulates. If it doesn't circulate, then you have very cold hands and feet. All right, it circulates, it moves around. All right, this word's definition is to put weight on one or both of your knees, usually on the ground. Sometimes people do this in church, okay? Or you can do this in your home, okay? So if this is the ground, it's like this, okay? With your knees. Kneel. See, it has the word knee right in it, right? Kneel. This is a verb. You probably knew that one. All right. This one is talking about taking away financial. Remember, financial is talking about money. So taking away the money, taking away some of the money. So remember that D means like not. So, and fund is another word for money. So if you are funding something, you are giving money to it. So if you are defunding, you are not giving money to it. So defunding is taking away the money or taking away some of the money. All right, two more. Racial inequalities. Remember, in means not, and you know equality means equal, right? Race is talking about, are you white? Are you Hispanic or Mexican? Are you black? Okay, what is your race? Racial inequalities that are embedded in a society as a whole or in the entire organization. So in a whole organization, there are things that are not equal for different races. That is called systemic racism. So if there is an organization and things are not equal for all the races, that is called systemic racism. Okay, the last one, to suffer from something difficult. Okay, so maybe you experience something very hard, but you still stay strong. I think this is true for many, probably every one of you have suffered from something hard, but you stay strong. So the word for that, if this is a verb, is to endure. Sometimes we just have to endure difficult things. Okay, so those are our vocabulary words. I will go back down through here slowly in case you want to see these again. And remember, we're going to talk about them again when we meet on Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning. right. Now, when we meet, we are going to read this story about this movement that is called Black Lives Matter, about how it began, about what caused it to start, why people became upset, and why people felt like this was a good thing to start. And you can see that your words are in bold here. Okay, so I'm going to play just a little bit of it so you can hear it, but then we will also read it and talk about it together.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, BLM, is a social and political movement that began in the United States. Its goal is to protect Black people against police brutality and other forms of violence. It also advocates for an end to white supremacy and discrimination. The movement was founded in 2013 in response to the murder of Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old Black teen in Sanford, Florida. On February 26, 2012, Trayvon was walking home from a convenience store when he was fatally shot by George Zimmerman, a member of a community watch group. Zimmerman was tried and acquitted, sparking outrage from the Black community. Black Lives Matter began with the use of a hashtag on social media. The popularity of the hashtag increased in 2014 when two young Black men were killed by police, Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and Eric Garner in New York City. After these two incidents, the organizers of Black Lives Matter began expanding their project on a national scale by forming local chapters throughout the country. The movement gained momentum in 2020 when a police officer in Minneapolis murdered a Black man named George Floyd. Video footage of Floyd's murder circulated on social media. In the footage, the police officer could be seen kneeling on Floyd's neck while the victim tried to breathe. The police officer's three colleagues, who were also present, did not try to stop him. This event led to protests in more than 2,000 cities and towns in the U.S. and in more than 60 countries around the world. As a result of Floyd's death and other instances of police brutality, BLM began to advocate for the defunding of police. BLM's members believed that the money could be used instead to improve community services such as mental illness resources, education, and public transportation. As the Black Lives Matter movement continues to grow, more people are becoming aware of the systemic racism and violence that the Black community and other people of color must endure in their daily lives. Many people hope that this is just the beginning of the conversation and that real change will take place as a result. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
All right. We're going to listen to this again. We're going to read it together, and we're going to talk about it. So I know that they read that quickly. I don't want you to be discouraged. I really want you to see those words being used in sentences. So the words are really important, and just the big idea there is important. Now, I'd like you to just hear this. This is Kwame Alexander right here. This gentleman, he is being interviewed. And in a minute, this is a very short video, only 3 minutes long, but I think you will be encouraged of him reading about heroes in the history, in past history. And it's those heroes that, not in this lesson, but in the next lessons, I won't be able to cover all of them, but I'll pick out just some special ones for us to be able to talk about together. So let's just take the last few minutes and listen to this.
Book by reading from it.
I get to read it?
You do? Would you like him to read it?
Y'all want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to stand up for
That's
this.
great.
This is the undefeated. We have it up here. Yes. Hello out there. Glad you all could join us. If you have the book, you can follow along in your text, or you can see it on the screen. This is for the unforgettable, the swift and sweet ones who hurdled history and opened a world of possible. The ones who survived America by any means necessary, and the ones who didn't. This is for the undeniable, the ones who scored with chains on one hand and faith in the other. This is for the unflappable, the sophisticated ones who box adversity and tackle vision, who shine their light for the world to see and don't stop till the break of dawn. This is for the unafraid, the audacious ones who carried the red, white, and weary blues on the battlefield to save an imperfect union. The righteous marching ones who sang, "We shall not be moved because Black lives matter." This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unlimited, unstoppable ones, the dreamers and the doers who swim across the big sea of our imagination and show us the majestic shores of the promised land. The Wilma Rudolphs, the Muhammad Alis, the Althea Gibsons, the Jesse Owenses, the Jordans and the LeBrons, the Serenas and the Cheryls, the Reese Whitleys and the undiscovered. This is for the unbelievable, the we real cool ones. This is for the unbending, the black as the night is beautiful ones. This is for the underdogs and the uncertain, the unspoken but no longer untitled. This is for the undefeated. This is for the undefeated. This is for you and you and you, Jamie, and you, Imogen. This is for you. This is for us.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I really like some of the things he had to say, and some of his pictures are really amazing. They are from the same artist, Kadir Nelson. That was the picture that I started the video today with. Well, I look forward to talking to you next week. I hope you can stay warm this weekend and also have just a really good time. So I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.